Hello viewers, welcome to UN Autonomous College. Today we can discuss the concept of arrays in Java. We know that what is the meaning of array and what are the different features of an array and what are the different advantages, disadvantages and how to declare and creating an array variables in Java, as well as we can also learn what are the different types of an array. Then we can learn example of Java arrays. First of all, we can discuss the concept of what is an array in Java. Actually, an array is a collection of similar type of elements which are stored in a specific memory location. Otherwise, you can say Java provides a data structure where the array which stores a fixed size sequential collection of elements of the same type. An array is used to store a collection of data. If you consider the concept of an array, it is one type of technique through which you can to store multiple or you can say homogeneous types of elements are stored in a single type variable. The array is so benefited to reduce the declaration of multiple variables in our program, and that is why just we can consider that example. Suppose this is an array and of 7 elements where all the elements are integers and homogeneous type. Here the array size is declared as 7, but in your array concept the memory location can be started from 0 to n minus 1. In that case we can locate our elements in our array through 0 to n minus 1 means 0 to 6. 0 to 6 means 7 elements in that. In this area just we can focus on that pointer 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This 7 elements or 7 digits are known as the index of an array. Similarly, the elements like 40, 55, 23, 87, 21, 11, 94 are specific type of elements of an array. That is why all the elements are integers and homogeneous. So that the green box below the array is called the index, which always starts from 0 and goes up to n minus 1 elements. So in this case, as there are 7 elements, the index is from 0 to 6. So in this way we can store homogeneous types of elements in an array, and due to the presence of array, or you can say due to the use of an array, we can reduce the declaration of variables, number of variables. Let us we can discuss an example like if a user want to perform a program like write a program, input 100 number and display it. In that moment if a user is going to display that kind of elements without the help of that array concept, it can declare 100 number of variables in their program. That is why we can follow the array concept. Due to the help of that array concept we can reduce the declaration of variables. That is why we can follow the array concept. The next we can learn features of an array. What are the different features were considered in that array concept, but generally there are 3 main features of an array. The first most important feature known as a dynamic allocation. In arrays the memory is created dynamically, which reduces the amount of storage required for the code. Due to the concept of dynamic allocation, we can also declare its size of an array at the time of execution with the help of scanner keyword, or we can take the help of buffer reader class. By using these 2 type of options we can also give the size of an array in dynamic way also, but in that case the dynamic allocation is also possible in an array concept. Next feature known as the element stored under a single name. All the elements are stored under one name, and this name is used any time we use an array. Actually if a user want to store their elements, means number, that may be a number, that may be a float number, that may be an integer, or you can say float, double, long, string, etc. This type of elements can also store in a single variable. Which type of variable means array type variables. Next feature known as occupies contiguous location. In that concept we can learn that the elements in the arrays are stored at adjacent positions. This makes it easy for the user to find the locations of its elements. In our array concept we are going to storing homogeneous type of elements in a contiguous memory locations. Contiguous memory locations means nearer to each other. Suppose the index number 0, in that index we are storing a specific type of constant like 10. then index number 1 we can store a specific type of constant like 20, 3, 40 like that, means they are storing the elements in consecutive memory locations. In this way we can organize our array concept. Next we can learn what are the different advantages are considered in our array concept. Like first advantage like code optimization. Due to the code optimization, it provides a specific environment or interface through which you can easily retrieve or sort the data efficiently. We know that due to the code optimization means actually a user can store homogeneous type of elements, means related type of elements in a single variables which are stored in contiguous manner. Due to that way of accessing, that way of programming, it helps us to rectify or to find a specific type of elements from a program very quickly as far as possible. Next advantage we can learn like random access. Random access means we can get any data located at any index position. Suppose the array size 6, then we can store our elements like 0 to n minus 1 means 0 to 5. In 0 position we are storing some constant like 10, in 1 position we are storing a constant like 20, in 3 40, then 4 50, then 5 60. That means the total index 0 to 5 means 6 elements are stored in a array type variable, that may be A, that may be B. Any type of array can store that values, that type of elements, but a user want to access a location number 5 elements. In that moment a user can easily give the location means index number to retrieve that element from its array memory location. And these are two most important advantages in our array concept. Similarly, we can learn the what are the different disadvantages are considered in Java. The first disadvantage is like size limit. We can store only the fixed size of elements in the array, but it does not grow its size at runtime. We know that whenever a user is going to allocate a specific type of array variable, in that moment a user can give its size. The size may be 20, maybe 4, maybe 5. In that time that size always fixed in nature. At the time of execution the size cannot be deviated, that size cannot be changed at the time of execution. That is why that is a disadvantage in a array concept like size limit. Next disadvantage, that is Java cannot store heterogeneous data. It can only store a single type of primitives. That means suppose I am going to create an array like integer type. A integer type array can only store some integer type of elements, not float type, not character type, not string type, not long type, as well as we can say not double type, only store integer type. Similarly, if a user want to create a float type array, in that array variable we can store similar type elements, means float related elements. That is means 10.56, 11.74, like this kind of constants are stored in our float array constant. Next we can learn how to declaring an array variables in Java. Especially if a user want to declare a array type variable, like to use an array in a program you must declare a variable to reference the array, and you must specify the type of array the variable can reference. That means how to declare an array. Especially the declaration process is always depends on a specific type. In that case we first to declare a type of element, which type of elements we are going to declare in our program. That is why first of all we can mention the data type. In that case we can mention the data type, then subscript. Subscript means your rectangular bracket, subscript, then your array type variable. That array reference variable means you can give any type. Similarly, it is a one type of signature, we can write the subscript nearer to data type. Otherwise we can declare data type space your array variable type, then you can give the subscript. Subscript is a signature of an array type elements. That is why in our example we can mention like that, double subscript space array type variable name, that is my list. My list is the one type of array type element which is specially double type. In otherwise we can also declare double then space my list subscript. It is also one array type element. So otherwise we can declare in two different ways in our array concept. In that way we can specially declare the array variables Similarly, whenever we can declare an array variables, we need to create an array. Actually, in that creating an array concept, we especially allocate the memo location to a specific array type element. In that case, how to create that array element? In this slide we can learn. First of all, you can create an array by using the name, or you can say by using the new operator with the following syntax, like first of all you can declare the array variable which is already declared in your previous slide, that is array reference variable equal to, we have take the help of new operator, then we are using the specific data type which is in your declaration page, that is the data type. Then we can mention the size of an array, that may be 10, that may be 15, that may be 100, whatever you want to mention a size of that type. Then first of all, in that case we can have two type of statements, like it creates an array using new data type with size. In this way we can specially allocate the memo location to a specific type of element, that is known as array type element. The second point known as, it assigns the reference of the newly created array to the variable like array reference variable. In this way we can reference our some constants in that type element. Finally, the declaring an array variable, first of all you can creating an array and assigning the reference to the array to the variable can be combined in one statement. So it can be mentioned in a syntax in below, like data type, then you can declare an array variable, then subscript equal to new operator, then we can write data type, then subscript, in that subscript we can write size of an array. It is a syntax of array declaration. Actually, due to the presence of new space data type with size, this line gives to a specific array type variable like array reference variable to its size. Then example we can learn like that, we can write the data type like int, then a is a array type variable with writing some subscript, then equal to, then we are writing new, then int with subscript we have size like 5. So in this way we can declare the array variable. Otherwise, and that array variable contains size 5. Otherwise we can also declare int b variable with array type variable subscript equal to, at that time whenever we are declaring a array variable, in that time also we can declare constant in it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that means the array size is declared as 5. And in that case, if a user want to retrieve the size of b, they can use b.length method. With the help of b.length method, a user can easily retrieve the size of an array b, because whenever you are declaring a array variable, in that time you are assigning some constant to that array type variable. In this way we can collect the element size, means array size, by using a length technique, or you can say length method. Next we can learn what are the different types of arrays we have. Especially in Java we are specially learn single dimensional array, or we can say 1D array means one dimensional array, next one 2 dimensional array means 2D array. Sometimes that 2D array is also known as a multi-dimensional array. First of all we can learn what is the meaning of single dimensional array. This single dimensional array means, in whenever a user going to declare a specific type of variable, it can stores a single row type elements, and it is one type of linear array, or you can say it is a linear type of elements we can store in our memory location. In that single dimensional array only we have single subscript in a array type variable, which is already declared in your example. Like suppose whenever user want to declare a integer type array, then in that time we can declare int with an array type object like array, then equal to, writing the new, then we are declare int with size 5. That means the above location, this is one array location, that array location named as array with size 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 means 0 to n minus 1, n means 5, minus 1 means 4. The 0 to 4 means 5 elements are stored in that 1D array location, which is stored in a single row manner. Next we can learn what are the different examples are related to single dimensional array. Let us discuss that program, and that program name as, it is one type of program to input 10 elements and display it. So in that case, first of all we can declare a package like IO package import space java.io.star semicolon, then we can declare the next package import space java.util.star semicolon. Next we can declare a class type element like class with class name single dimensional example. Then in that class name we can declare a method like public static void main. In that public static void main we have a parameter string args. It is a predefined, this line is a predefined statement. In that method we have a dynamic allocation, means dynamic, or you can say runtime inputting process. That means for at the time of execution user can easily give any type of constant to that memory location with the help of scanner object. First of all you can declare a scanner class, the scanner class S should be capital, then you can declare an object SC equal to new, then you can write scanner is one type of constructor. In that constructor we have a parameter system.in, this is a predefined, system is a predefined class, S should be capital, dot in end with semicolon. Then we have one array type variable like norm, and that norm is written as a subscript equal to new and int with size 10, that means norm is an array type, its size is 10. Then we can write a statement system.out.println enter elements to an 1D array, that means in that section, in that for loop we are going to inputting 1D array elements in your array location. First of all you can declare a for loop, in that for loop we have some parameter like int I equal to 0, means ith location should be 0 because array started from index like 0. Then we can declare a condition I less than 10, then semicolon I plus plus. First I 0, 0 is less than 10, condition true, then control shifted to the next statement like int I means norm I means norm 0th position, I means 0, then sc dot next int. In that method sc dot next method, due to that technique we can dynamically input some element to the norm location, means 0th location, that may be 10. Suppose the next ith location is incremented by 1, then 0 plus 1 means 1, 1 less than 10, condition true, then norm position 1, we can input another element, then I plus plus. In this way we can entering some elements to an norm type array variable from 0 to index 9. Then next we are going to printing some statements, or we can say printing some elements which are stored in that array, that is norm array, we are going to printing like that. In that case first of all you can write the statement means system.out.println display elements to an array 1D array, then we are writing the for statement for int I equal to 0, then semicolon I less than 10 semicolon, then I plus plus. The previous section for loop is repeated in that part, but difference is like that in the previous for loop we are specially inputting some elements to an array type variable, but in the last for loop we are going to printing what are the elements are stored in that norm type array type variable. Then system.out.println norm of I means subscript I means the ith means reference as a location position, means index position, I means 0, the norm location 0 you have a element that may be 10, that may be 20, whatever type of a constants you are stored in that array we can display sequentially, means 10 elements we are getting at the end of that program. This example specially consider as a we can inputting 10 elements and to calculate what are the different types of evens and odds elements are present in that array. So in similar way we can also declare import space java.io.star semicolon. Similarly we can also declare next statement like import space java.util.star semicolon. Finally in that case also we are declaring another class type element like class with a class name single dimensional ex with ev0 is the class name. Then we are writing the main method. In that main method we have declaring scanner class object scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in, Then you are also declaring a array type variable, means norm type variable is a array type variable which is considered as a single dimensional array type element with its size 10. Then we are going to inputting 10 type of elements in that norm type array which is a single dimensional array. First of all, we can declare the for loop int I equal to 0, then semicolon, then I less than 10, then I plus plus. I 0 means 0 is less than 10, condition true, then control shifted to next statement like norm of I means norm of 0th position. In that position we are going to inputting elements to at the time of execution. sc dot next line means by using that next int method we are dynamically we can give the input through keyboard to the norm type array with 0th location. The next statement we have system.out.println, and with a statement like display elements to 1D array. Then in that block we have also have a for loop, because that for loop helps to sequentially we can execute same type of statements more than one times. That's why given some condition means 10 times. Here also I store some value constant like 0, then I less than also 10, condition 0 less than 10, condition true, control shifted to next line. If norm 0th position is a modulus or divided by 2 means modulus arithmetic operator by 2, if it returns 0 means we know that that modulus operator always returns 0 if that element is a successfully divided by the divisor. Means suppose norm 0th position element have 10 modulus 2, the remainder is always equal to 0, then condition true, automatically the next statement will be executed, is written as even number plus norm I means 0th position, that is printed as 10 is a even number. If that element is not successfully divided by 2, the remainder is not be equal to 0, in that case the elements should be printed as odd number with that element, that may be 9, that may be 5, whatever elements present in that norm type array variable, it is displayed on your monitor screen. So in this way we can solve our 1D array type elements in our specific type of program. Next we can learn what is the meaning of 2-dimensional array. Actually the 2-dimensional array is always represented in rows and columns. With the help of that 2-dimensional array we can store some matrix type elements, that means some rows and columns, or we are going to represent some table type variables or table type element structure, which helps us to implementation of that 2-dimensional array. And that 2-dimensional array is not a linear array, it is a non-linear array, because why? The elements are stored in rows and columns fashion, and due to that 2D array we can store or we can gather multiple type of elements within a single type of variables, which are already discussed in our slide, just we can focus on it. In that case, how to declare 2D array? In that case we have two subscript of a single variable. That means first we can declare int, we have two subscript, first subscript denoted as row type, second subscript is denoted as a column type. Then we have a array type element, means array type variable, that is written as array. That subscript you can also write after that variable also. Then you are giving the equal sign, is a equal operator, then new, then we can declare data type int, then with its size, the row size 2 and column size 5. Because the above structure is also looks like that, we have one row means first row, then your second row, then we have 5 columns, first, second, third, then fourth, then fifth. We have fifth column, means if you are considering the programming aspect, row size 2 means 0 1, column size 5 means 0 1 2 3 4 means n minus 1, 2 means 0 to n minus 1 means 0 1, 5 means 0 to n minus 1 means 0 to 4. In this the array has 2 rows and 5 columns. So the index starts from 0 0 in the left upper corner to 1, then 4 in the right lower corner. We know that in this location we can say this is the location of 0 0, means 0th row and 0th column. In that case 0th row 1th column, in that case 0th row then second column, then 0th row third column, 0th row fourth column. This is 1th row, then zeroth column. In this way we can represent our indexing in your 2D array concept. So that in 2D array especially we have some 2-dimensional array type structure, we have 2 rows and 3 columns in it also, and brackets separated by rows and the number of elements separated by columns always. Due to the implementation of 2D array we can structure to multiple type of elements in it, but similar type of elements. Let us discuss the example of that 2-dimensional array. In that array also this example is denoted as we can store 10 means just it is a one type of matrix, means 2 cross 3 matrix, means we can store 2 cross 3 means 6 elements in that 2D type variable. First of all you can going to declare a package, means IO package import space java.io.star semicolon, then you can declare import space java.util.star semicolon, then you declare a class type variable 2-dimensional ex, then you are inside that class you are declaring a main method with some parameters string args. In that main method you are declaring a statement, or you can creating an object. By using that object we can dynamically input some constants to a specific type of variable like array type variable. We are declaring object sc. With the help of that object we can dynamically input to array type element. Next we are declare a 2-dimensional type array type variable, means int a we have 2 subscript and new, then int we have size 2 3 means 2 into 3 means 6 elements we can store in that a, means 2-dimensional type variable, but 2D type array variable that is declared as a. In this way we can declare the array variable. Next we can dynamically input some elements to that array, means 2-dimensional array variable, like first of all the first we are declared ith means row section, jth means your column section. First of all we can store I equal to declare as I equal to 0, then I less than 2 and then I plus plus. Then next we have a nested for loop, means in that outer for loop we have a inner for loop like for int j equal to 0 and j is declared as j less than 3, then j plus plus. In the inner for loop we have a statement like there is array 2-dimensional array variable a with ith location and jth location. In ith location we have a 0, in jth location also we have a 0. That means a of 0 0 location we are inputting some dynamic type elements like maybe 10, maybe 20, whatever user want to give any type of integer type constant to that 2-dimensional type element. Next we are going to printing what are the elements are present in that 2D type variable. In that section we are specially declaring a statement like system.out.println display elements to an 2D array type variable. Similarly we can also declaring the 2 for loop, one is the ith location and the jth location. That location are always denoted as ith, means I location is less than 2, then jth location is always less than 3. Suppose we are going to printing the statement if I equal to 0, 0 is less than 2, condition true, then control shifted to inner for loop. In inner for loop we have a j variable which j stores a constant 0, 0 is less than 3, condition true, control shifted to the inner location by inner statement like system.out.println, means a of I means a of 0, j means 0. In the 0 location element is printed on a monitor screen. Similarly the jth location is incremented by 1, j means always before store 0, now it is incremented by 1, the jth position printed as 1, the 1 is less than 3, condition true, control shifted to the next statement system.out.println. In that statement we have 0 1th, the 0 row position and 1th column position element is printed in this statement. In this way we are control shifted one by one, just we are going to printing the 6 elements from our 2D array type program. So in this way we are discussing this array example. Okay, then finally thank you.